Here is your update on what's happening with BlockFi. FTX, is the US finally going to be interested in taking them into their custody? Is SBF actually crazy? But first, let's talk about BlockFi. For those of you who missed our video way back in June, where we told our CT Club members, and we also made videos here on YouTube, warning that BlockFi could be next after Celsius. It took a little bit, but it's happening now. They had exposure, irresponsible exposure to other custody platforms, and good thing we did, because now BlockFi is considering declaring bankruptcy. They had close ties to FTX, and because FTX is what it is at this point, they were affecting BlockFi's ability to enable withdrawals for users. And now, because the bankruptcy proceedings from FTX are taking so long, BlockFi is like, you know what, we're gonna have to probably declare bankruptcy too. And so just a heads up for you who still have funds on centralized exchanges, on lending platforms, nowhere is safe. You shouldn't consider a centralized platform, someone else that has custody over your coins. That should never be considered a safe place to store your crypto. You should have much more faith and ability in your own responsibility to take custody over your coins. If you want to know how, if you want to know which wallets are really good, I recommend Ledger and Trezor hardware wallets. Links for those are down below in the video description. I also have tutorials on how to set them up. You can check that out in this on this channel as well. Just do a search, Crypto Tips and Ledger, Crypto Tips and Trezor, they'll pop up. Now moving on to FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. I am getting sick of saying that guy's name. But now it looks like US authorities are considering or discussing taking him in for questioning. You know, they're thinking about it. They might talk to him. They might not. What is this? Why is he not a criminal #1 in crypto space? How come him and Do Kwon are still living the life, doing interviews, saying, "Oh, I'm not losing any sleep." And also, what's happening more specifically with Sam Bankman-Fried on Twitter is, I mean, okay, here's where the conspiracies start, right? Sam Bankman-Fried over the past few days was doing some cryptic tweets, like one letter per tweet. And, you know, so it was building a lot of anticipation. Oh my gosh, what is this? What does this mean? What does this mean? And by the end of it, it read a tweet that didn't offer any help. It was just, it seemed like a marketing scheme just to get him to be talked about even more. But what was really a shame is that all the people who worked for FTX, had funds on FTX, were financially affected by his decisions to misuse their funds, were hanging by a thread, like hanging on every tweet that he said for desperation, for some kind of illumination of what's actually happening, some kind of help, some kind of hope. And it was all for nothing. And some people think that these cryptic tweets were what are called a dead man's switch, where he either has to provide some kind of cryptic communication that would prevent someone else from, let's say, hacking him or exposing more information or whatever. Like that's one heck of a conspiracy theory, saying that, you know, it was all, he was trying to protect himself in some way by behaving the way someone else wanted him to behave. It's not that cryptic, actually, depending on who you're talking to and where his money went to. But another conspiracy is that, or another idea, is that he's taking a page out of the Theranos book and trying to build himself up, going down the path of insanity. He was outside of his mind when he was misusing user funds. And I have had some time checking out the true crime area. That's what I like to do in my free time. A little bit about me. And there's plenty of people who try to get away with murder by trying to claim the insanity case. And the #1 way you can prove that they're not insane is by proving that they can understand they were guilty. What were they doing to try to cover up what they were doing? Why were they hiding it? Everything that he was doing behind FTX was hidden. He apologized also twice. So there's admitting guilt right there, right? So anyway, if he tries to say that he's crazy, he can kiss anything that he might try to build in the financial world goodbye. And maybe he's able to do that because he's squirreled away quite a bit of currency himself that he can retire at whatever age he is, and he doesn't have to give it away to charity anymore. So yeah, lots of interesting things are coming out about SBF now, including the fact that now he has the balls to try to get more investors to invest in or to give him money so that he can pay back his users. Literally the definition of a Ponzi scheme. And who in their right mind would give this guy any money anyways? And if he really cared about paying back his users, he wouldn't have done anything that he did in the first place to bring on this whole debacle in the first place. So yeah, it's just a lot of hot air coming out of these guys, and it's just really pathetic. Anyone who is hanging on in desperation and hope of him again turning things around, there's some light at the tunnel. In my opinion, I think you should just wash your hands of it, learn the lesson, and start building again. And this time with a sharper skepticism and a healthy level of paranoia, and try to not fall for the trust scheme that a lot of people try to layer on with cryptocurrencies. Put your coins in a wallet. Check out our CT Club if you guys want to know more about what we're doing with our cryptocurrencies. We do trade alerts, have access to our portfolio, and a lot of other information as well. Anyway, hit like, hit subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.